this man literally had like fucking demonic shit all over his house. Like, he would steal my underwear. Like, he was doing love spells on me, you know?
So besties, what if I told you guys a lot of men are using love charm, black magic, love spells and voodoo on women to manipulate these women and control these women like a puppet? There are a lot of you who are dealing with men who are practicing witchcraft on you every night. They have a voodoo doll on you. They have love spells that they have casted on you and you have no idea about it. There are a lot of these men who are dealing with the devil in order to keep you hooked in a toxic relationship. In today's video, a group of very beautiful ladies and handsome men had a lot to say concerning this very same topic. I'm going to roll the clip, let us watch, then I'll be sharing my thoughts at the end of the video. I'll also be sharing my experience at the end of the video. So do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm dying to see them. Drop your experiences as well, and let us dive into it.
You wonder why you crazy about a man that doing you wrong. That man got a spell on you. You can't let him go. You can't let him go. Every time you try to leave, when you talk to him, he put them words in your ear. Them words are spell. The spell's still working. Every time you take him back, the spell gets stronger and stronger until you start getting depressed, stressed out, losing your mind, crying every day. You don't put on makeup no more. You don't dress up. You don't even comb your hair. You ain't go out no more. That man got you tied down with a spirit. I'm telling you now, there's a demon holding you down all day long. Make you feel like you're nothing. However he feel inside, that's how you feel it. So if he can devalue you, he can make you sit still. He know you ain't going nowhere. He know you ain't gonna do nothing with your life, but wait on him. He gonna drain you until you ain't got nothing left. And he gonna leave you for another woman. Now you're gonna be sitting there crushed and broken. I'm telling you.
Men out here is trying to play with that dog magic and they putting love spells on y'all. They taking y'all names, put it on them sheets of paper, writing it 3 times, burning it, and you wondering why your ass is messed up. I promise you. Y'all women, bro, y'all don't be knowing what people be doing. You gotta understand, just because you don't see a nigga do it, don't mean he ain't doing it. Connotations on your name. They got your birthday at the top, his birthday at the bottom, got your name, last name, written in a circle 3 times and a cross. Take that cinnamon, they pull that cinnamon over that paper, fold it up, put it over that candle and burn it. Why I can't find no man? These niggas all tripping. You don't know what niggas you dealt with playing with you.
Because it needs to be said, only because, like, I went through it. Love spells, right? Magic and stuff is real, okay? If you don't believe it, I mean, you're more susceptible to, like, people using it on you, right? I had an ex that... So, a lot of men are fucking... a lot of men will dabble in, like, witchcraft and shit and do magic, but they don't tell anyone. Some of them are in whole ass covens with other fucking people, you know, and they do spells on people. So be aware of that. Because if you don't have spiritual protection, you're not saying your little prayers and shit to keep yourself safe, keeping your crystals with you, or whatever you need to do, cleansing your aura, you are more susceptible to being manipulated. So love spells are not like, I mean, everyone has free will to do what they want, but love spells can mess with somebody's free will. That's why they say not to do them. But the love spells are intentionally, they're supposed to be used with love. So if somebody already cares about you, like you guys care about each other, that's what people say, like you use it with that. So it's kind of like manipulating an energy that's already there. So if you're not conscious of that shit, that somebody's doing that, like they could put a love spell on you and they look like more attractive to you. Because I had one done on me before, and it took me after I got out of the abusive relationship and all that shit, like to realize that he did that, because it was just uncanny. Like I had this weird, like I was like crying, like, I can't stand it, I need to go be with him, after he did fucked up shit to me. Like when somebody does you so fucking dirty that you know that you don't want them and you shouldn't be with them, but for some reason like you're still like unnaturally drawn to them, like that's a sign that somebody might have put a love spell on you, right? And like the thing is like you can't go against like my free will. Like if I'm deciding, right, and you keep going against that, the thing that makes it go haywire when people do love spells, and this is a warning for people out there using love spells, one thing that can go wrong when you put a love spell on somebody who doesn't, like, you're kind of messing with their free will, especially you're fucking them over and then putting a love spell on them so they'll be obsessed with you, is that love spell can go backwards and twist and they can fucking hate you after that. Like it will get fucked up and they'll fucking hate you. And that's how I feel about the person he did on me. Like, I fucking hate him. Like, he's the one person that, like, if I found out he passed away, I would be happy. So, like, don't be putting love spells on people. Like, the best thing you could do, I think, is put a love spell on yourself to love yourself. That will definitely make things better. You'll fucking attract everyone, too. Like, you won't even have to worry about, like, I need this one person to want me. Because if you love yourself, then they'll be attracted to you. Does that make sense? A bunch of bitch ass niggas out here that do magic, like, but they do it secretly. So, like, be careful. Be careful. But, like, seriously. Then I realized that he, like, does magic and shit. And obviously, how did I not fucking put that 2 and 2 together? Because whenever I talked about anything spiritual or magic related, he would always be like, oh, what are you talking about? I don't know anything. Meanwhile, this man literally had, like, fucking demonic shit all over his house. Like, he would steal my underwear. Like, he was doing love spells on me, you know? And it's crazy because when I realize now, like, the way that my body was being pulled to him after I, like, left because I hated him, that shit was not natural. And then way later after we broke up and I went back to see him, he was so fucking ugly. He was so fucking ugly. You know why he was so fucking ugly? Because I could see who he really was and the love spell was broken. So, like, people will appear more attractive. Like, you'll be more drawn to them. Right? But they're not, like, it's because they use magic on you. But that's why you got to do your little protections and prayers or whatever. If you don't believe in, I don't know, spiritual stuff like that, you just pray for protection, okay? Keep yourself safe, because, like, the men out here, a lot of them do magic on women and they don't fucking tell anyone.
Warning to any woman that will hear me right now. A lot of people, right, are aware, especially if you grew up in the South, or if you're from an African family, or you have a Caribbean family, or maybe y'all are from, like, South America, something like that, right? A lot of us are aware that a man should not be eating a woman's spaghetti, lasagna, things with red sauce, right? Because she could be hiding, she's into that craft of the witch, she can be hiding her menstrual blood inside of there, and in order to put a love spell on you, to mess with your mind, put them roots on you. But it is never talked about that men do the same thing. Now, obviously, men don't produce that, so they use something different. Some of you on Valentine's Day will be taken out, right? Excuse me, he will invite you over his house, and he will make you a meal. It will make you some seafood Alfredo, or he'll make you some vegetable Alfredo, some kind of Alfredo, or something with a white creamy sauce. What does a man produce that is white, that could blend in with Alfredo? All right, I don't have to say, you know what I'm talking about. So basically, he'll do that, and he'll hide it in your food, and there won't be much. Just like a witch with the blood, she's not going to do it so much that you're going to taste it. A warlock is not going to do so much that you're going to take, but you'll feel it. So it will be in order to control your mind. You understand me? Some of you wonder why you can't let a certain man go. It will be in order to control your mind. You understand me? Some of you wonder why you can't let a certain man go. Why this guy is not even your type, and so forth, but you're obsessed with him. You're dreaming of him. Some of you have left someone a long time ago, yet you're still dreaming of them. You're seeing them in your dreams, etc. That day, a lot of February 14th is a day that a lot of these things begin, right? It's not, there's no such thing as a good person. Understand that. Men are not good. Women are not good. This is not, oh man, these poor men. I mean, these men are doing this and these women are doing that. No one is good. It's even written that no one is good. None is good but God. Understand that. There are witches and there are warlocks of every shape, size, color, gender, whatever. Okay. And man, my phone is messing up as I'm trying to make this message. So I'm really trying to get this out. It's not the only way to do a love spell, but it's pretty efficient and pretty common.
It made me want to tell my story about how I found out that someone put a little spell on me. So, summer 2016, I met this guy in a random grocery store, and I absolutely was just not interested in him. But he knew my brother, he knew my mother, and he was very well known in the community for being like I don't know, like the second coming of Dr. CB or something. So I was absolutely not attracted to him whatsoever. It was all for superficial reasons, but it doesn't matter. It was my free will. I was not attracted to him, and I was not interested in dating him. But he had a God complex, and he did not believe that anything he desired, he couldn't attain, including people. So at the time, I was dating someone else who just so happened to be a student of his. So needless to say, the guy that I was dating held him to a high regard. I did not care because I did not put him on a pedestal because I did not know him and I did not care about him. So I told him, like, you know, I'm dating someone else. I'm not interested, blah, blah, blah. He was very persistent, definitely laid it on very, very thick, and told me that, you know, well, I'll always be a friend to you if you ever need anything, if you have any questions. So like I said, he is very educated and knowledgeable about health and wellness, and, you know, he made a name for himself. So fast forward a few months, my ex and I are no longer together. We broke up in a very tragic, tumultuous way, which I actually do believe he has something to do with. I think he did a breakup spell. That's another story for another day. The first person that popped in my head, mind you, I don't like this person, never thought about this person. First person that pops in my head is like to confide in was him for some crazy ass reason, right? So I call him, I'm frantic because of what I found out, which is how me and my ex broke up. I am literally like in shambles, and he's like, come over, you know, tell me, like, we can talk about it in person, I'll make you some tea, da 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 da. So I went over, I was in a very vulnerable state, and I now know that he had began working on me already, and that's why he was the first person that popped in my mind. But at the time, I had no explanation as to why I was at this man's house. But when I left, I called my cousin. The first thing that came out of my mouth is, I think this man just put a spell on me. It felt like I was hit with a ton of bricks, and all of a sudden, this was the man of my dreams. This 5'6", 100-pound man was all of a sudden the man of my dreams. And I was conscious enough to know that something wasn't right, but I wasn't mature enough in my spirituality to know what to do about it. And I was also very, very vulnerable at the time.
So y'all do know that men do way more spell work than women do, right? The man go in on spell work, love spell work, or black magic spell work, dark magic spell work. One, for you not to move on. Two, for your finances, control, possessiveness, not wanting somebody else to be with you. Men go in when it comes to spell work. You hear women do a lot of love spell. You can't beat men. Men go in when it comes down to spell work. It's a control thing. It's a power thing. And they're very secretive at doing it. But they will block you. They will try to block you. They won't block you, but they will try to block you. Men go hard when it comes to spell work.
Ladies, that you are under actual spell, like this person is doing spell work on you to keep you in a very toxic situation. Number one, you're physically drained. Anytime you connect with them via phone, text, in person, you're drained. You feel different. You feel off, or your life starts getting off. Number two, they always want to connect with you when you're in a heightened state of arousal, heightened state of rage, heightened state of sadness. And they always, and when I say connect sexually, intimately, they always are trying to navigate having intimacy with you when you're on your cycle. That is blood magic. That is a blood tie. Some other signs, no matter how often you try to get away, you can't. Like, you'll move out and you'll somehow end up with them moving back in. You know, they access to your mind, your money, your body. Maybe they keep you pregnant. You know, they find a way to control big parts of your life. You may be under a spell.
A lot of women underestimate men. You guys underestimate the extent to which men will go in order to keep you guys hooked in a relationship with them. People always think it's only women who use voodoo on men, but men in today's day and age are using voodoo way more than women use this voodoo on them. Men use voodoo and black magic on women for these four main reasons: financially, emotionally, sexually, and most importantly, spiritually. A lot of men are gold diggers. They are gold diggers. And the new form of gold digging is basically using voodoo on a woman who has money, a woman who is independent, a woman who is rich, who has her own back. And when a guy meets a woman who is independent, hardworking, rich, has her own back, and maybe he's broke, he doesn't have it all, guess what? He is going to use black magic and voodoo on this woman, especially if the woman is dealing with a man who doesn't know God, who is diabolic, who is selfish, self-centered, and is willing to go the extra mile to have some few coins. This man is going to use a love spell on this woman. He's going to cast a love spell on this woman or use voodoo on her. These guys will go to the extent of meeting a witch doctor or someone who practices witchcraft in order to place a love spell on you. They will give them a voodoo doll which represents you in order to cast this spell on you. Most of these men will go to the extent of using your underwear, your blood, your used pad, or your used tampons. These men will use whatever thing they got from you, any discharge that was gotten from you during sex. These men are going to use these things in order to cast this love spell on you. I'm saying this because a lot of women, they are ignorant about these things. Okay, if possible, in order to cast a love spell on you, and this is going to manifest spiritually. A lot of these men who are cultists, they are in cults, and they have conditions that were given to them by the cult leader or whosoever is orchestrating or leading them to go about this lifestyle. And most of their conditions is to use your star spiritually to enrich themselves. You're dating a guy who is using your star to enrich himself. The minute you guys start dating or the minute you guys start having sex, you discover nothing in your life goes well. The minute he sleeps with you, he's draining you spiritually and it's manifesting physically. Whatever you're trying to achieve physically does not come to pass because you are dating a guy who is using your star spiritually. Maybe you're planning to get a new car, maybe you're planning to get a new house, to travel out of the country, to get a new job. Maybe you're doing business, and out of a sudden, all of the things that you're doing, none of it is coming to pass, none of it is working. Your money is falling short. Everything that you're trying to achieve is failing because you're dealing with a man who is using you spiritually. Every good thing that was going to happen to you, he's blocking it so that these good things can come to him. This is how he is using you spiritually, using your star, using your energy, and even using your body. There are a lot of these men who are doing these things. The places in which most of these men get into, you guys are going to be scared. There are a lot of men who are dealing with the devil physically to manipulate you, to play you like a puppet, to get whatever they want from you. Most of you women are in relationships with men who treat you like shit. These men don't love you, they don't respect you, they cheat on you, they disrespect you in the most horrible way you can ever imagine. Abuse you physically, emotionally, psychologically, and most of the times even sexually. But you're stuck in that relationship because this guy is using voodoo on you. The love is not natural. This love was love that was created by the devil. It is love that is built on love charm, love spell, voodoo, black magic. Because you're not functioning in the right state of mind because this guy is using voodoo on you. It is black magic that is making you manifest the way you're manifesting. You're going to his apartment, you're tolerating all the disrespect, tolerating whatever he's doing to you because there is a voodoo spell that has been placed on you. He has a voodoo doll that represents you, and he's poking this voodoo doll every time to get you anytime he wants. But you have no idea about it. This is the extent to which men will go in order to keep you hooked. So many of you ladies watching this video, you have an ex who you always keep going back to him. Most of these exes, they have placed a love spell on you. If you're in a relationship presently and you have an ex that you cannot get over, you're still thinking about him, every time you guys link up, you guys must smash. Check that guy. Check him because there's a possibility he has placed a voodoo spell on you or a love spell on you. Sometimes we think it's just chemistry. Sometimes we think it's a soul tie. But guess what? Sometimes it is voodoo. I had a very good friend of mine and she was in a relationship with this dude. I'll tell you guys how she met him. They started dating in the beginning of 2023 and basically they had a very rough relationship from the beginning. There were red flags from the beginning. That is why I'll tell each and every one of you to never ignore red flags because red flags are to guide you. The red flags were very glaring from the beginning of their relationship. This guy was very toxic, very abusive. He would treat her horribly. In fact, he would treat her like shit. He would abuse her in all forms that you can imagine. And she would still stick with him. For some reason, she couldn't let go of this guy. And even when you ask her, why can't you let go of him, she will tell you the very same thing. She will always tell me she doesn't know why she's stuck in this relationship with him, because he treats her like nothing. But for some reason, she just couldn't get over him. Only to find out this guy had placed a love charm or voodoo on her. That's why it's important to know God, and that's why it's important to take your spiritual life very seriously. Because when you don't know God, you're going to find yourself in messed up situations, and you're going to deal with men that were sent by the devil to destroy you and derail you. This guy was basically sent by the devil to destroy her life, to derail her, to use her star, to exploit her financially. Take your spiritual life seriously, go to church, pray, because a lot of things happen in the spirit realm and we have no idea about it. How was she saved from this love charm and love spell that was cast on her by her ex? She was saved because she went to church, and it was because a lot of things were not going well in her life. She was discovering a lot of things about her life were failing relationship wise. She couldn't keep any relationship even though she had separated from her ex. Right now she's been free from it, but before she got free from this love charm, this was what actually happened. The first time when she went to this guy's house and they had sex, the guy stopped the toilet from flushing, and whatever tissue or whatever waste she used, he got it and he used it to cast a love spell on her at night. And when he did this love spell on her, she became hooked to him, and he was doing it in order to exploit her financially, so that anything he asked from her, she was going to give him. This guy was basically broke, he didn't have any money, and he wasn't only using this love spell to get money from her, he was also using her star spiritually, draining her blood spiritually, doing horrible things spiritually. There are a lot of men who are diabolic, and you guys need to be very careful, because this is a topic that a lot of people don't talk about. In as much as it's very uncomfortable, I'm going to share it so you guys can learn. He got two voodoo dolls, one male voodoo doll and one female voodoo doll. The female voodoo doll representing her and the male voodoo doll representing him. So what he did at night was he joined the two voodoo dolls together. There was another guy who was asking her out and showing signs of seriousness. This guy did some kind of love spell to basically shift the other guy aside and join himself with her as one. So whenever he says anything, she does it. Whatever is going on in her life, he knew about it, making sure he was manipulating her like a puppet, sleeping with her whenever he wants, exploiting her financially, asking her for money to use and do whatever he wanted to do. This guy was actually planning on scamming her financially, and he had planned to scam her a huge sum of money. Thank God she went to church and all of these things were revealed to her, because he was planning to ask her for a huge sum of money under the pretext of wanting to use it to do business, do their introduction and celebrate their wedding. Even though this plan was on the pipeline, he was telling her all of this in hopes that she was going to give him the money so that they can take their relationship to the next step and get married. But guess what? He was actually planning on taking this money and traveling out of the country. And this guy had a serious relationship. This guy was in another relationship and he was playing both of them together. He was using the other girl and using my friend at the same time, exploiting them financially, using their stars spiritually. This guy was not only using their stars and practicing witchcraft, he was in a cult. That means he was initiated in a cult, and these were some of the conditions he needed to use in order to get money. Sleeping with women to use their star to enrich himself, sleeping with women to get these women pregnant, and forcing these women to commit an abortion. And when these women commit this abortion, the blood of the child which has been aborted goes to the witchcraft kingdom, goes to the court, goes as a sacrifice to the altar, and in turn enriches him. So the more girls he gets to commit an abortion, the more rich he becomes. The more women he can use love charms on to exploit them financially, the more rich he becomes. So basically his target is to date women, use women for his own selfish gain. Is to sleep with women and use their stars. There are a lot of these men who, when you sleep with, everything about you goes down the drain, because he is using you spiritually and everything about you is failing. This is what this guy was basically doing. He was not only practicing a witchcraft by himself, he was in a cult, and he had conditions that he needed to fulfill in order to get rich, and this guy was implementing it. So he was using women as a tool to enrich himself, using women as a tool, sacrificing these women, using their stars, using their wombs, using their unborn children. In fact, his unborn children. This is how scary this story is. And I had to share this to you guys because a lot of times we think men are using women just for sex, but there are a lot of guys who will use you for more than just sex. They are taking more from you than your body. They are taking your star, they are taking your future, they are taking everything that is going to make you you. And before you sit and you wonder why things aren't going well in your life, you sit and you're questioning everything about yourself because you think it's normal, whereas it's not normal. It's the guy you're dating, it's the guy you're sleeping with, it's the guy who you're in a relationship with. This man is diabolic, he's working with the devil, he's practicing black magic, dealing with the enemy face to face. And within that period when she was in a relationship with this dude, everything she was doing wasn't going well. But guess what? He was getting rich, he was traveling the world, going on vacations, doing whatever he wants to do, spoiling whoever he wants to spoil, getting new stuff for himself. But everything she was doing wasn't going well. And even when they separated, he was using her star to enrich himself, living a very glamorous lifestyle, whereas she was going down the drain. While you're failing, he is winning. He's winning spiritually because he's using you spiritually. This is so evil. And if there's one thing that I learned from this story is you cannot trust anybody, not even the nigga you sleep with, not even the man you're in a relationship with, not even the man you love, not even the man you're dating. You cannot trust anybody because anybody can be dealing with the devil. This guy was diabolic and he wanted to use her. But thank God she was spiritual. She went to church and God saved her from whatever black magic and whatever charm he was using. And guess what? The minute she went through her deliverance, this guy kept flooding her phone with messages, calls, texting her, trying to link up with her. Because the source of his income has been cut off. Whatever magic, whatever charm, whatever voodoo he was using was destroyed the minute she was delivered. And as all these things were destroyed, he wants her back. He starts running back into her life to empower himself again, to use her again, to exploit her again. There are a lot of men who are diabolic. This is a new form of gold digging. They will go spiritually to exploit you sexually, emotionally, and financially. So you guys need to be very careful. You're dating a guy and he's using your womb. He has sold your womb to the devil to enrich himself through sex. Sleeps with you, takes your womb spiritually, and you can never have a child again. You get into another relationship, maybe you even get married, and you're having problems having a child. You can have a child because an ex that you're in a relationship with used your womb to enrich himself. If you know the places some of these men get into, the places some of these men have put their hands in, you're going to be scared. A lot of them who have involved themselves with the devil, they see women as tools to enrich themselves financially. They will use you, they will sleep with you, take your womb, take your star, take your destiny. Anything that you're doing, it fails because you're dealing with a man who is using you spiritually. He's making you obsessed with him, playing you like a puppet, sleeping with you anytime he wants because you are working under the influence of black magic. One advice I'll give to each and every one of you is be very scared of men who know that you're out of their league. When a man who is beneath you, who knows he cannot afford you, wants to get you, most of them are going to go spiritually. They are going to use voodoo and black magic on you because they know you're never going to accept them in your right state of mind, in your right senses. So they are going to go spiritually. They will use voodoo, use black magic, use love charms to get you hooked in order to sleep with you, in order to keep you in a toxic relationship, in order to make you fall in love with them, in order to exploit you financially. They just want to prove to themselves and to prove to their homeboys that they can sleep with you, that they can get you in bed, that they have slept with you. So they are going to do this. Especially a guy who wanted to date you and you rejected him. When you reject some of these men, they don't know how to handle rejection. So they are going to go the diabolic way in order to get you, just to use you and dump you, just to prove to you that they could still get you even though you rejected them. So you guys need to be very careful. When you reject a guy, make sure you don't think about going back to him, because most of these men, when you reject them and you go back to date them, they are dating you for revenge. They are going to date you in order to use you. You rejected this guy and he's heard about the fact that you rejected him, so he's going to go and use black magic to get you to sleep with you. For all the girlies watching this video, one last advice I'm going to give you is make sure you don't joke with God. Make sure you're very prayerful. Pray about every man who comes into your life, because most of them are not from God. They are from the devil, sent by the devil to destroy you. The devil doesn't always come like a red monster with a tail, but he comes looking like everything you ever wanted. So when the devil wants to destroy you, he's going to send you a man that you're going to like. He's going to send you your type because he knows what you like. And this man will come into your life to mess things up, to destroy you, to steal your star, to steal your destiny, to derail you, take your womb and enrich himself in whatever way, exploit you emotionally, sexually, financially, and spiritually. So you guys need to be very careful. So besties, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you learned so much from this video. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, drop your experiences. I'm dying to see them, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye, love you.